Have you ever considered how beliefs in your behaviors could affect your vision? Well, that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about beliefs and behaviors and have this conversation about how it could affect your vision, positively or negatively. Now, if you've been following me for a while, you will be aware that there are different types of content that I share with you guys. Sometimes it's research. You know, there's some new research going on about some procedures, some supplements, maybe some meds, or even some new devices or something like that that's coming out. So we want to keep you guys abreast of what's around and what's up and coming in terms of research. We also talk to you about tactical ways, safe and natural ways to help recover and preserve your vision. So we have these methods and these tools that I'll share with you. Then we'll often drop testimonials or case studies from patients who've received outstanding results, measurable results, using our methods, our systems, our treatment modalities. This talk in this session is going to be more of a mindset. And by mindset, this is about ways to help you think and feel better about your situation, right? Understand it's serious, right? You're faced with losing your vision. Maybe you've lost some vision. Maybe you haven't lost vision. Maybe you're just dealing with the diagnosis, or maybe it's for a loved one. Maybe there is a family or friend or somebody you care about who is just, not been on the internet, and, maybe you're following me, they haven't. So you're trying to learn what you can to help support them. So you're being an advocate, which is awesome. If that's you, commend you for that. So let's dive in. Let's talk about the beliefs first. So what is a belief? Now, a belief is really an idea that we have about a certain thing, right? In this case, we're going to talk about our vision. It's subjective, and reality usually has to support your beliefs, right? There has to be some evidence or you wouldn't believe it, right? Sometimes we believe things blindly, no pun intended, that there are just ideas, right? People put ideas in our head that are maybe not qualified, maybe not accurate, and we just believe them, right? Sometimes naive, sometimes it's something that we want to believe, or something it just kind of comes in. We're kind of not even paying attention, and subconsciously it comes in. Maybe they're beliefs from childhood. Maybe it's somebody else's belief that was inserted into our mind when we weren't paying attention or questioning it. So when we talk about beliefs, again, this is something that it's also called a worldview. Okay, so this is a perspective, a lens that which you see the world, right? Sometimes people call it a bias as well. So we need evidence to support our beliefs most of the time. If we're being somewhat critical, somewhat analytical, and we're testing the validity of our beliefs, which we should. In my opinion, we should constantly test the validity of our belief systems. We should audit them regularly. This conversation, of course, is about looking at your belief system around your vision, right? Your ability to recover vision and preserve vision, or maybe you believe you can't recover that. And there's no judgment around either belief system. It is what it is. A belief system is not good or bad. It's just a belief system. So let's not label it positive or negative right now. But belief systems do have predictable outcomes, and we're going to talk about why. So belief systems, if you have a belief, that's going to create a behavior, right? So when you believe a certain way or a certain idea about something, in this case, your vision, so if you believe you can recover and preserve your vision, your behaviors are going to be somewhat different than if you don't believe that there's anything you could do to help recover and preserve your vision, right? So think about that for a minute. So what type of behaviors would a person who believes their vision can be recovered and healed and preserved versus somebody who doesn't, right? Somebody who believes it, their behaviors might be proactive. Generally, we'll talk a little bit more about that. Somebody who doesn't believe anything can be done for a whole host of reasons, their behaviors may be that of inactive, or even they may be too repulsed, or they may be against anything that would suggest otherwise, right? We see this often. If there's you guys on some of the groups out there, you suggest acupuncture, supplements, anything holistic alternative, and you see in real time people's belief system. If they don't believe that anything can be done, a lot of people are going to let you hear about it, right? They're going to tell you their belief systems, and you're going to have conflict and sometimes confrontation. So the behaviors are basically what you're going to do actively or inactively that support your belief systems. They're basically actions and habits, or inactions, what you're going to do and what you're not going to do. Okay, so I think that's pretty clear. So again, the belief is something, if something, you believe it to be true. Okay, so I want to have a quick conversation about that, because that idea is pretty important. So if you believe something to be true, it's usually going to be based, again, on evidence. Now, sometimes it's a bias or it's an opinion, and we have to just call that out on ourselves. Be like, I believe that, but what's that based on? I'm not really sure. So you want to go back and go through, like, why do I believe this? What evidence has led me to believe this? Where did I hear this from? What qualified individual or people relayed this information? Where did I read it? Was it research? Was it talking to somebody? So again, the belief is something that you believe to be true, but truth in and of itself may not be truth, right? It may be relative, it may be inaccurate, and truths are often dynamic, right? What's true for one person, it's their belief system, it's true for them, may not be true for somebody else, right? Perfect example. So we use these red light therapy glasses now. So we have some patients who are pretty early stage, and you turn the red lights on and they see red, right? The red light glasses. So obviously they see red. I have patients who have declining vision and they're advanced with their vision loss. So they see this red color is orange or even yellow. Does that mean their truth? What's their truth? Is it true that it's red, or is it true that it is orange, or is it yellow? What's the truth? The truth is that it's true for all of them, right? So there are many truths. So the color isn't the truth, the perception is the truth. So we have to respect that, right? We have to understand that and understand that people are going to have their different truths. The trap here is that if we're looking for truth, again, truth can be relative. Okay, Einstein talked about theory of relativity. So we could get caught up at what's true, what's not true. And I've learned over the years, and this is why I'm sharing this with you, is what's true may not, and what's accurate may not be the best question to ask here. I've found that substituting what's useful for what's true has been a better conversation and has helped me to get to where I want to go, and it can help you get to where you want to be, which is to recover and preserve your vision. Here's how. So when we look for what's useful, we want to know, what can we do? It's a proactive conversation about what belief system and what behaviors are useful to get me that which where I want to go. Okay, in this case, it's vision recovery and preservation. So if we have this belief then of that it's possible, right? We have a belief system that it's either impossible to recover or preserve vision, or we have a belief system, going back to the conversation of beliefs, that this belief system is possible or is impossible, right? Most people are pretty binary, and now there are a growing number of people, which may be you, that aren't sure, right? You're in conflict, right? Because we're not sure. And what conflict sometimes, it leads us to analysis paralysis, which is where we don't make a decision because we're stuck, right? We've read this, we've heard this, then we heard this. You heard from your doctor that nothing can be done. Then you heard from me or somebody else that, yes, maybe there can be something out there. Maybe you were on a Facebook group, or you watched our YouTube videos, hearing some of our case studies and testimonials and reports from people who got great results. So that creates conflict, right? So we're not sure about what's true. we're not sure about what's possible. So our behaviors and our beliefs are kind of like put on pause because we're not sure. Do I take this stuff? Am I going to waste my time, my money? Can I trust that this is true and accurate, or that this is useful and going to help me? Or is it a lie? Or is it, deceitful? Which again is just calling it out. It is what it is. You're asking these questions in your head. Is this guy full of it? Can I trust him? Is this real? Why doesn't my doctor know about it? These are all important questions to ask. But again, we want to source, is it useful? So is the information you're getting from whomever or whatever source useful? Okay. Then we want to move on to the question of desire. So belief and behaviors have a lot to do with desire, right? So let me ask you a question. What do you want? Do you know? Better vision? Preservation? Recovery? Okay, that's desire. Of course. Well, I'm not going to say of course. Some people aren't. They're kind of resigned to the fact that they're losing their vision. But if you're watching this, I'm going to assume maybe that's not you. So desire is something we want, right? It's something that we want. It's an outcome. It's a hope. It's a dream. It's a vision. It's a paradise. It's something we want to aspire to do, be, or have. Okay? So if our desires, that which we want, is not aligned with our belief system, then belief's going to win. Why? Because belief, what we believe, is again supported by evidence. So if we see declining vision and we're told that this is our condition stable, like, but my vision's getting worse. So the belief based on your experience that vision is getting worse, that's going to be your reality, and that's going to be your belief, and your behaviors are going to reflect that. So if you've taken some supplements, tried acupuncture, tried hyperbaric, tried hydrogen, tried the alternating current stimulation, the ACS, tried red light therapies, tried something, eye exercise, and you've seen some results, some improvement, even a little bit of temporary improvement, that is probably going to shatter your worldview of what you thought was possible, and your belief system is going to change, as is your behaviors, hopefully. Now that you got a taste of what you were told that's not true, that you're going to lose your vision, there's nothing you can do, that comes into question. So we start doing research and contemplating and considering the validity of the idea that nothing can be done, right? So then the other key point that I want to talk about here beyond desire is bias. So when we have a desire and we have a belief system, sometimes our behaviors, when we do research, there's this idea of confirmation bias. Now, what is confirmation bias? Confirmation bias is a term used in research where we tend, not we, maybe you, maybe not you, tend to cherry pick or favor certain information that supports your belief or narrative while ignoring and undervaluing any evidence or ideas or data that contradicts your belief, right? So it's basically saying, I only want to focus on that which is going to tell me my vision can't get better. Everything I'm going to read because that's what I believe. Or I'm only going to read things that show that what will help improve my vision, right? Because that's what I believe. So again, we want to be wary of that. Why? Because we don't want to buy stuff that's junk, that's useless. Just because someone, including myself, just because something says it's useful, there's a lot of misinformation, there's a lot of deceit out there, and there's a lot of crappy products simply stated out there that just aren't going to help. So you need confirmation bias to have be critical about it and do research and figure out, is this true and accurate? But the confirmation bias can also keep you from seeking that which might be able to help you, right? So if you believe nothing can be done, you're going to look for everything to support the fact that there's nothing can help. You're going to go online, you're going to hear about horror stories and everybody's vision getting worse and research studies that failed. You want to confirm your bias that there's nothing out there that can help you. Okay. And on the flip side, again, we want to confirm that which can be there to help you, but you don't want to be too naive and too eager to jump into anything without doing research and getting qualified feedback. Makes sense, right? So confirmation bias is important to understand. Again, it's just our desires will sway us in one direction, or we just want to be aware of that. So coming back to the question, what do you desire? Better vision, of course, recovery, long-term preservation, maybe short-term recovery, long-term recovery, right? You want better vision, right? We get it. So do you believe in your belief system that vision recovery and preservation is possible? Check your belief system. No judgment. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. And if you do have one of those belief systems, why? Why do you believe vision recovery is possible? And why do you believe preservation is possible? Or why not? Do you know people who've had good results? Do you know people who had bad results? Are you getting qualified feedback? Are you getting unqualified feedback from people who know nothing or have no experience about what you're trying to get results with? Okay? So the next thing I want you to consider is, are your behaviors aligned with your beliefs? Are your habits, are your actions or inactions aligned with your belief system that your vision can improve? Are you eating healthy? Are you hydrating? Are you taking care of your body? Are you taking supplements? Are you doing at-home therapies or working with healthcare providers, acupuncturists, naturopaths, functional medicine practitioners to help you recover and preserve your vision, right? Because those actions will help move you in the direction. Those habits you're creating are going to support your belief that vision recovery is possible if that's something you're trying to achieve. So again, are your behaviors aligned with your beliefs and your desires? And again, beliefs plus desires or fear equals your behaviors and habits. So whatever beliefs you have and whatever desire, whatever you want or you're afraid of, right? Maybe your behaviors are going to be, yes, you want better vision, but you're also afraid of losing your vision. So you may be motivated. 80 to 90% of people who are motivated to take action are going to take action on a negative, meaning fear, afraid of losing their vision versus just wanting better vision. So most patients, what that means is most people start our programs and come to us for help because they're afraid of losing their vision or they are losing their vision. Okay? So if you desire better vision and you believe it's possible, then the next question is, what are you doing? What is your behavior? What are your habits that are supporting that desire and belief to achieve better vision and maintain and preserve your vision? So your behavior, again, in your habits are simply what you're doing or what you're not doing. So again, our goal is to help you increase, if that's what your goal is, better vision, recovery, preservation, to what can you do, right? And that's what we've built our systems on. So for us, what we offer, or what I offer to patients, is either an in-office experience where patients come to us, their belief is that they can improve their vision, their desire is better vision, so they're taking action and their behavior is coming to our clinic, getting help, working with me, or maybe they can't come to clinic and we'll do an at-home program where we're either going to jump on a telehealth, right? Do a telehealth call. We're going to bring you into our AcuVision recovery system online holistic ophthalmology group coaching community. That's where we provide you with the 30 years of experience of tools that I've created to help people recharge, regenerate, and retain their vision, right? Or maybe you're just more of a DIY, do-it-yourself person, and you're just going to purchase the ACS 3000, the red light glasses, supplements, Qigong, watch our videos, right? That's still action, right? Your behavior, your habits are still feeding yourself, again, with positive content, mindset, right? We're like, there's a 20-minute video on mindset already. So mindset is critical. How you think. Is it possible? Do you believe in the possibility of recovering your vision, preserving your vision? Okay. Then we're going to give you guys tools. We're going to give you support. We're going to give you research, help keep up with the latest research, all right, to empower you, to teach you what you can do at home or working with us. So if you have more thoughts about what you can do to be more proactive and how you can improve your behaviors so that your vision can recover and preserve over time, reach out to us. If you're not clear about what your best next step is, then I invite you to email or call or post inside our group or reach out to me. Happy to have a conversation and find out if or how we can help you. I'm Dr. Andy Rosenfarb with AcuVision. Your vision is our mission. See you soon.